Greetings all you manics, minds, and rhymes, and welcome back to another Warframe Weapon Showcase, and today we're going to be taking a look again at the Pathocyst. Someone wanted to see this, so, yeah, I'm doing it. Also, I'm not going to be playing Heldren in the Steel Path. I just wanted to show off her Elite skin, and I think it's pretty freaking sweet, overall, and also this Idana is legit cool, so that's cool. And you get this entire bundle plus a heavy blade skin that's an axe, even though it's super stubby for some reason. Give us a long battle axe DE, please. For 225 plat. That's a really good deal. Anyway, the Pathocyst. So, the build has not changed. This is the build I'm going to be using. It's not the throw build because I do not like using glaives as thrown weapons because I just don't like that playstyle. But here is a build that I normally would run if I decide to do that. It pretty much one-shots everything in the game. It has viral heat. It explodes with a guaranteed viral proc, and then it has a pretty high chance of hitting heat, so it does a lot of damage, as you'd expect. Anyway, so for the frame I'm going to be playing is probably not going to be a surprise to anybody. Measure Prime, because, yeah. They changed the way the UI looks here, and I don't know if I like it. I'm going to have to get used to it. It just looks kind of strange, and you can see all my frames. I have a lot of frames. You don't count. Anyway, we're going to go into Steel Path and show what this glaive is capable of. To get this glaive, you have to do a boss fight that's actually kind of neat, so at least it's not something, boring. It was also part of a Halloween event that was, really fun when it came out, so hopefully we get more of those cool events. So I'm very well aware that the Cuvaseer and this, I can do that stuff, but I'm not going to for this. I'm just going to use the Pathocyst. I hope you guys are also enjoying the Fallout 4 One Life series. That is definitely going to be... Also, I prefer Astral Twilight. But I mean... the random guy wanted a updated build for this, but what needs updating? It's a melee weapon. Melee is melee, as I'm sure people already know. What are you gonna spawn? No. If that was the Cuvaseer, I would be like, okay, I'll do that, because I kind of want to get a Heat Seer, but I will wait on that. So yeah, as you see, this thing just sort of rips and tears its way through everything because it's, again, it's a melee with high crit, high status, high damage. There's really nothing to write home about, really. I mean, when some people are like, can you showcase this melee weapon? I'm just like, it's a melee. What do you want me to what do you want me to say? Also, yeah, it still does its whole spawning little parasites, little fuckers, little maggots that I think do toxin damage, but don't actually proc enemies with toxins. So this thing hits a wide area, as all glaives do. And also, I don't have the Glaive Prime because I don't care about glaives enough to get it. And also, I don't care. I just do not care. I don't care that it guarantees slash procs. I don't care. So, that's probably gonna make people judge me. I don't care really, because I mean, this is Warframe. Don't try and sweat lord it, because are you serious? Anyway, if I can stop hitting E in that right way to make it throw. Yeah, this thing hits really, really hard. Is it? Oh my god, stop that. Is it my favorite weapon? Nah. When it comes to melee, I've been really liking the Fang Prime. I've been using the Galantine Prime again. I've been using some of my Zaws. But typically, I don't use melee. Why? I find it a little boring, and It just isn't my playstyle. I like Warframe for its gunplay. This is a looter shooter, not a looter hack and slash in my opinion. But I know people love their melee, and that's completely fine. But yeah, it's gonna do a number on the Acolyte, but keep in mind the Acolyte cannot be proc with fire roll anymore, so he's not gonna die super fast, but he should die, you know, fairly quickly. For a fair comparison, I probably should do another round of this with the other stance so you guys can see. And I think I'll do that, actually. Maybe. I don't know. I could also do Disruption, but I don't trust this thing killing the Demolist quick enough. I mean, I'm sure, I know it can. Just, Yeah, that block combo is a heavy hitter. Stop throwing the glaive, God almighty. Okay, here comes Mr. Edgelord. Well, one of the Edgelords. Okay, it's violence. That's okay. So that needs to stop right this instant. Not him turning off my abilities. That's whatever. Throwing the glaive over and over again. That's why I avoid glaives, because they're weird. They bug out for me half the time. So a melee weapon killed the Acolyte. Very very surprising, right? I know I sound very condescending, but I mean, again, this is why I don't do melee weapon showcases. They're all the same event, pretty much. Unless they have a really unique gimmick, I'm probably not going to showcase them. I mean, this thing's gimmick is that it sends out maggots every now and then, but they don't really do much and they don't last very long. If they lasted longer or gave you buffs like more melee damage or more range when maggots are out, that'd be kind of interesting, but unfortunately no. Hopefully when new melee weapons come to this game, they all have different like unique gimmicks. Lotus, don't you dare talk. She's going to. Watch. Yep. Bruh. I'm extracting. They need to get rid of that. Like, are you serious? Life support doesn't matter when you extract, so why does she show up? Anyway, the Pathocyst is still and always will be very, very powerful because, again, it's a melee weapon, and it is a melee weapon with these, with you know, these stats here. Like, I know 15% chance to crit doesn't seem much in 4 times multiplier, but you also have to take into account melee combo. The amount of status that this thing actually has when Weeping Wounds is fully active, which I believe is way over 100%. This thing is very slash forward. It's got innate viral. And also this attack speed looks really low, but glaives are all fast, no matter the attack speed, so there is that. I still wish the Zorus worked with Korra because it made Korra really, really fun to play because you could just nuke enemies in one shot. DE. It wasn't broken that Korra was able to do that. I think Korra should just have infinite combo counter, effectively, like infinite combo time. So, all that being said, the Pathocyst, it's still very strong. It works extremely well as expected. It is a melee weapon. It is a glaive. I'm actually not going to show Gleaming Talon because I don't really feel like it. I think I got my point across with the Pathocyst. I could also show the heavy attack or like the explosion build, but again, I don't care enough to, because I don't use glaives that way. I am not a fan of using glaives like that. I don't I don't find it fun like that. I find it more fun to use them as a melee weapon and not like a grenade. But you do you. However you want to play this game is however you want to play this game. It really doesn't matter. And the Pathocyst is very powerful. And it is one of the glaives that I use the most because it's, well, like the only glaive I have. I don't really think I have other glaives. If I look through my melee weapons, I have so many. No, I don't. This is the only glaive I have, and there's a reason for that. It's the most fun one in my opinion because it has a little something about it. The maggots. I just wish it had a little more. Maybe eventually there will be a glaive where it's much different from other melee weapons. So with melee weapons, what DE should do is not only give us more melee weapon classes and more ZAW options, but also should, each melee weapon has its own little gimmick, own little thing about it that makes it unique. Because what's the difference between, say, I don't know. What's the difference between, what's the difference between the Redeemer Prime and the Stropha? They're both gun blades. They both hit really, really hard. And they're both melee. There's really nothing different. It's just this one's sci-fi and the other is basically a double barrel shotgun. That's it. What's the difference between the Distressa Prime and a ZAW rapier? Really, really nothing at all, except this one has an 8 viral. That's pretty much it. What's the difference between the Sigma Noctantis and the Sylvan Aegis Prime? The Sylvan Aegis Prime is slower, but it has an 8 heat, and that's it. The stats on melee don't really matter all that much because melee is melee. I've proven this in the past by destroying Steel Path with a Mark I bow. I mean, I won't be able to do that anymore because melee is significantly more balanced, but you get my point. This is why I don't do melee weapon showcases. At the end of the day, they're effectively all the same, except for very notable exceptions that have different like little unique things about them. But other than that, they're all basically the same. They all have the same stances, and they all have similar stats, if not very similar stats, and they all kill enemies basically the same speed, and they're all melee, where you can hit a huge crowd of enemies with no consequence. So that's the crux of the issue. Melee is generic. I don't want to use that word, but it kind of is. With guns, every single gun has something different about it. Sure, some are similar, but there's more things about them that make them stand out. Whatever. That's just my opinion on the whole melee situation. And again, this is why I don't do melee weapon showcases unless they are legit unique. Like the Tenet melee weapons, I'll eventually get around to doing melee showcases of those maybe if I feel like it, which I probably don't because I only have like 2 of them and that was annoying as hell to get. So I don't think I'm going to really do that. Also, the we need more melee weapons like this and the Neferi. These are unique. These have different things about them that make them unique. Unique combo that sends out energy waves. Like that's cool. More of that, DE. So anyway, you get my gist. Melee is, for lack of a better term, all melee weapons are effectively the same. They're just reskins with different attack speeds and slightly different stats. But at the end of the day, you take basically any melee weapon into Steel Path, it'll destroy it. Because it's melee. So that's just my personal opinion. And that's just my observation of playing this game for over 4 years, by the way. So all that being said, if you think a melee weapon looks neat, go for it. Try it out. Thank you guys so much for watching. And remember, in Trilby, we trust.